Welcome to another Dragonheir Silent Gods video. I'm Skratch. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. Rather said, a fantastic day. In today's video, guys, I want to showcase you the only unkillable team that exists inside of the game. And I want to show you how powerful it is early on. If you guys remember all of the previous summoning videos, the story of my life, constantly trying to summon for one specific legendary, aka Ogok, well, you're gonna understand in today's video why. First, I want to say a big thank you to Dragonheir for sponsoring today's video. And if you guys are new around here, new on the channel, if you haven't tried the game just yet, you can download it by using the link in the description down below, or in the pinned comment, or by scanning the QR code you see on the screen. But ladies and gentlemen, Season 4, Snails of Lava, we are still progressing through the game. I think at the very moment, we are on day 11. So it means that we're not going to have access to a lot of powerful gear. We're just not going to be able to level up our characters to level 100. And of course, our artifacts are nowhere close to the maximum level either. So in this sort of situation, guys, if you have the right heroes to keep the rest of your team alive, you're going to be gaining massive benefits. And I summoned Zephy in Season 1, if I'm not mistaken. And I finally got Ogok in Season 3. Now I'm going to show you how I'm ranking in top 15 on the Vortex on my server. And I do want to mention one thing. My server is full of mega Krakens, okay? We had so many server joins, merges, joins. So right now, we have a lot of big players, a lot of whales, Krakens, you know, and it's very hard to be able to compete with any of them because let me just quickly show you. And the big boys, they haven't all used their runs just yet, but you are looking at either fully inspired characters. You're looking at some very solid characters overall, you know, like look at this inspiration 5 5 5 4, you know, like it's just pretty damn crazy, you know. So I'm gonna show you how I'm actually managing to go around it and be one of the top 15 on my server without using any of those fully inspired characters. So currently we are still on difficulty 3. We have a long way till we're gonna reach difficulty 4 because hey, it's the beginning of the season. Not only that you can use them in the Temporal Vortex very effectively, but if you have them by any chance inspired, you can make unkillable teams for dungeons. I am running partially unkillable teams for some of the dungeons. I'm running Zephy in the Grave of Curse for stage 9, where my team doesn't get wiped. I'm running Ogok in the Heretical Ruins, where again, my team doesn't get wiped because of the unkillable, because of the way I build the team around. So they're very effective early on for progression. I think they're some of the best characters in the entire game for progression, just because they allow you to keep your team alive. So let me just quickly show you what's my team, how my team is built, what is the timing, because I know the main question for the majority of you guys will be the timing, right? How do you have your skills set? So this is the team right here. Let me just quickly load the gear. So we have Orfina, which is an absolute monster, really activates Perkunte to deal some disgusting damage. Thunderbolt, right? Perkunte is an exclusive character, and I'll be very honest, I'm super surprised to see that this team is so powerful early on versus a wild team, versus an Ice Blast team, you know, which they should be very powerful as well. So this team is really strong and just 2 damage dealers. Then we have, of course, Astayon, new character added in Season 4, absolutely amazing. Now, I do want to mention one thing. This team will work in every season exactly how you are going to see it here. And I'm talking about the 2 unkillable characters, the exact same skill timing. You will have to use different damage dealers because you won't have this available in Season 1 or in Season 2 or in Season 3. But hey, you will be able to make an unkillable team as well that will put you over the rest, I would say, you know. So, talking about gear, talking about artifacts, here we are. So I have the Witch's Remains on Astayon. Multi-hit skill with the ultimate, so is the perfect candidate to apply defense down. I have the downpipe organ on Zephy. The main thing is you don't need to have them tanky or anything like that. They just need to survive the initial hit, and that's it. That's about it. Then I have the new artifact that was added in Season 4, the Matriarch's Gem, which is a legendary. You're going to be able to get it by summoning a dupe epic. I have the Poison of Swamp, a super powerful legendary artifact. And stay tuned. This week, I will be doing a full tier list for all of the artifacts, guys. And on Ogok, I have the Solar King's Horn. It's not really gonna heal my team a lot or anything like that, and not like an Astaion would do or like a Frorbart. But you know what? It will increase my damage a little bit. Even if it's one stack, even if it's half a stack, it's still something more than nothing. So there you go. Now, how you may notice, I have lots and lots of epic gear. I was fortunate enough to put my hand on a 3-piece Cyril set. It's a flat weapon. I still used it. I still don't care about it. The chest, thankfully, is a good one. We have defense and we have a helmet. Now, this set at 3-piece will basically give you an additional 15% attack for 10 seconds when you're going to apply a debuff. So Witch's Remains will count as a debuff. I already made a video on this on Season 2 when I discovered it to show you guys how you can use this to your own advantage. And this is what we have in terms of builds. So these are the stats on Astaion. The main thing that you need to have is as much accuracy as possible to ensure that you're not going to get resisted on defense down. This is Zephyr right here. As much attack as possible, so we make the most out of the downpipe organ. Then we have Orfina. As much crit damage and attack as possible. I have Perkunte, same situation, as much crit rate, crit damage, and attack as possible. And Ogok doesn't really matter, to be honest. It doesn't really matter whatsoever. In terms of skill timing, guys, it's pretty simple. So the main thing that matters is Zephyr and Ogok. The rest, you can manipulate it to your own needs. It really depends what characters you're using, but this is what I have on mine. So you want Ogok to cover for 2 skills. Ogok has the unkillable for 5 seconds with this ultimate skill, or immortality. Now, if you're setting him at 26 seconds, he will cover for 2 skills. So like this, you're gonna stay unkillable for 2 hits from the Temporal Vortex. Zephyr has it for 8 seconds on the other hand, so you can cover the other longer skills, which is not the last ultimate, the one before, together with the last ultimate. So this is the skill timing right here. You want to have 14.5, 20 on Zephyr, 26 on Ogok, and 20. If you're changing this, it's not really going to work, okay? You might have a small margin of where you can adjust things like milliseconds and stuff, but you cannot change it by a lot because it will not work. Now, in terms of damage dealers, we have the character that applies defense down going first. Then we have the damage dealers going after. But I do want to leave a 3 or a 4 seconds gap in between that to ensure that the multi-hitter characters, they will apply their defense down 100% before my damage dealer goes to actually maximize my damage. So let me just quickly walk you through it. So the skills right here on the boss, this one and this one will be covered by Ogok. So Ogok at 26 seconds will cover this skill and this skill. Then Zephyr will cover this skill at 14.5 and this skill. As simple as that. So we're going to be unkillable for exactly 150 turns. Now, we don't have an attack aura, unfortunately. That would actually benefit this team a lot. Now, if you guys are familiar with the mechanics of the Temporal Vortex, he's clearly specifying it in a place that after stack 150, he will start to ignore immortality and the rest of the things. So basically, after that, my team is dead. Now, early on, this is massive because with the best support characters in the game, it's going to be extremely hard for you to survive so long, regardless of who you're using, if they're not fully inspired and crazy things like that, you know? So having this unkillable team will basically allow you to build your character squishy, give them the best possible damage gear, and survive 150 turns. Now, once we reach the end game and I can bring in, for example, Garius and Ardred together, I can survive all the way up to stack 200, you know? But right now, we cannot do that. We cannot survive up to stack 150, and that's where this team comes in play and really gives you the edge, guys. As you may notice, they are doing pretty decent damage as well. We have 2 million damage in less than 1 minute, which is actually not too bad. And we're gonna score pretty good. Pretty good. I'm quickly gonna try to see if I find the information right here. Immune to all control effects. And he does have it written somewhere. There we go. So when the stack count reaches 150, the damage will ignore immortality, invincibility, and gain resurrection. So you cannot use revive on that either, because it will block revive after stack 150, you know. Now we do need approximately 200 accuracy. Unfortunately, I don't have that, so I really hope that Asteon won't be getting resisted. I've just noticed it before getting resisted. It's going to be very important because we want to make sure that we are squeezing as much damage as possible. And if that will be the main issue, I'm going to have to basically look to try and get more accuracy on her. Now, tomorrow, we will actually unlock the Ancient Battlefield. We're going to unlock rank 100. We're going to unlock negative runes, and that will be massive in terms of gaining the accuracy, in terms of gaining additional stats on our characters. The regular teams, traditional teams, will become a bit more powerful. But for the moment, it will still be better to go off with an unkillable like this one. I feel like when we are going to unlock difficulty 4, most probably this team will still outperform for the first couple of weeks, or for the first 1 week, I would say at least, the regular teams, most of the regular teams. So I'm not planning to use this 1 month from now, because I just won't be doing enough damage in 150 turns. Plus, I won't have the 5-man elemental affinity. That's where this team really starts to fall off, when you're not gaining the 5-man elemental affinity team, because Zephy is lightning, Ogok is poison, so you're already breaking the elemental affinity. Then right here, I already have a Necro character, so I only have a 3-man elemental affinity at the moment. But later on, it will be very important to make the most of the 5-man elemental affinity team, and that's when this team will get completely buried. But it's very solid for dungeons as well. You don't need to use them together. You can use one or the other to basically try and push ahead and be able to beat higher stages on the dungeon, guys. But what I'm going to do from here, I'm going to fast forward it towards the end of the run. I'm going to show you the final result, just so you guys kind of like get a grasp of what this team can actually do. Here we are, guys, with an impressive result, 44.3 million damage. Now, this team can fluctuate quite a bit, and just for the simple fact that we do require accuracy on Orfina to land the electrocuted debuff on the boss. But if you are looking at the damage, Perkunte and Orfina are actually slapping. 17 million from Orfina, 23 from Perkunte, and the rest of them dealt a bit of damage too, here and there. But honestly, is a very, very solid result. And I would not be able to reach this damage without an unkillable team. If I would run Garius with Gatekeeper Staff, Ardrat, and a decrease attack or something else, right now, I would probably be stuck at around 30 plus million damage. 30, 33, kind of like being the maximum that I could get. Yesterday, I actually got a very similar result, 44.1, and I ranked number 12 on my server with this, you know. Definitely very, very solid, and you can see the vortex, the temporal vortex going crazy there. The 10x speed is an amazing, amazing feature that was added to the game, you know, and I do think that is a very, very strong team. Probably the strongest progression team in the entire game. If you have Ogok and Zephy, of course. If you don't, always keep an eye on their banners, guys. I would strongly suggest you to summon for them. I know a lot of people are constantly saying that, well, it's great for progression. I have clanmates saying, like, you know, I wanted to summon for them, but then I was like, they're good for progression, and now I regretted that I haven't, because he changed his mind, you know. That's why I really wanted to get Ogok, such an amazing character. And it's not only progression. Even in the late game, you can create teams with them. So I'm definitely going to use Ogok in the end game in my Temporal Vortex team. Right now, I'm looking to snipe a Cinderella. So whenever his banner comes out, I think it's going to be a couple of weeks, I'm going to try to make a Corrosion team with him, with Cinderella, and basically, I'm going to be partially unkillable, and I'm going to survive still a decent amount of time. If I survive 150 stacks with a Corrosion, it's going to be nuts, because they will bring in quite a bit of damage. Let's quickly check where is our result putting us for the moment on the leaderboard. So for the moment, we're going to be number 8. Now, I have a feeling that there are still a couple of big boys on the server that need to use their keys, basically. And that will probably drop me out of top 10, or it might keep me in the top 10 as number 10 maybe, but I'm definitely not gonna do top 8 or 9, you know. Still is a very, very solid result, and I do see myself using this team for the foreseeable future for the next 1 or 2 weeks. Thanks again to Dragonheir for sponsoring today's video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you haven't tried the game just yet, you can download it by using my link in the description down below, or in the pinned comment, or by scanning the QR code you see on the screen. As usual, much love, appreciate every single one of you guys watching, especially the ones watching till the end, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.